Hello and welcome to CNN and yes, just about 7 days to go for the FIFA World Cup 2014 to kick off in Brazil, and we continue with our countdown to what is the greatest show on earth. I'm Sanjeev Mukherjee, and as always joining me, two knights in shining armor, Kareem Bentry, one of the best tactical minds in club football in India, and of course the celebrated writer, commentator and journalist Novi Kapadia. Novi Kapadia, Alejandro, am I getting the pronunciation right, Kareem?
Absolutely.
Alejandro Sabella is in some ways, in between the two styles of Argentina, the two favorite styles. One is a Cesar Luis Menotti, which is an all and out and out attacking game. The other is Carlos Bilardo, slightly more defensive, little more disciplined approach. But he seems to have adopted the best of both.
Yes, a very clever coach, not a great background. He was Passarella's assistant in the 1998 World Cup, and but he's got the best out of Messi. So give him full credit in that. Excellent man management. He's playing, to his strengths, letting Messi have that free role, and I think will allow an attacking football. They'll score more than the opposition. There will be lots of 3-2 matches.
Lots of scoring there from Argentina, but Kareem, the most important obviously for every coach at this point of time is obviously to get the formation right. 4-3-3, Sabella is very fond of it, and the fact is that he's likely to play it. But do you think Lionel Messi, obviously he'll be required to play a little more deeper out here than he does in Barcelona? If he plays in false nine, flanked by Aguero and Higuain, do you think it will work?
Well, it's already worked because he had great results in the last 11 matches. In fact, he didn't start with this 4-3-3 when he just took over at the start of the qualification, and he had difficult games in the first two games. I think he had a draw and lost to Venezuela. Right. But then after, when he changed the formation and he brought Messi on that false nine, the position that he liked and he's used to, then he got the best out of him, as Novi said. The good things about the strong points about Argentina is the three front players, which is Messi, Higuain and Aguero, are difficult strikers to handle, all the three of them. There are a lot of mobility, a lot of speed, a lot of creativity and skills. It's not that typical number 9 who is strong physically but static, but they will be handful for any defense during this World Cup.
Right, and keeping the attacking options open, Kareem, as a coach, I'm sure you would have loved the fact that what Sabella has, not only Higuain, Aguero and Messi, but also slightly behind them, a certain gentleman by the name of Angel Di Maria. He operates on the midfield through the left, but when they are on a counter, suddenly he becomes the fourth striker.
Of course, he's again like the engine of the team. What he has done in Real Madrid is unbelievable. He's a key to that Real Madrid system and performance, and he is doing the same thing with Argentina. He has the freedom to go forward from the coach, and he can score goals. And he gave that extra player that will not only assist but also score goals.
Also, the fact is that, yes, we talk about the big names, Nomi, but Fernando Gago, the man who delivers those pinpoint accurate diagonal balls, he will have a very important role because he's a deep-lying playmaker who resists the forward surges from the opponent team and then starts what is called the first vital pass. His role will be equally important in Argentina's success.
Yeah, I think that, Sanjeev, that's a major worry. He's had a surgery on his left knee in April. Has he fully recovered? If not, Sabella will have to rework his team, rejig his team. Does he bring in Eva Banega? Does Mascherano take that role? I think Mascherano's relieved he doesn't have captaincy anymore. But if Fernando Gago is not fully fit, that could be a major loss because the defense, it's not the sort of an impregnable city.
I was coming to that. Ezequiel Garay and Federico Fernandez, not really sort of defenders, Kareem, even you would like to bank upon in such a major tournament.
That's why many experts are not putting Argentina as the hot favorite for the winning this World Cup because the defense is a question mark, and that's here comes not only the role of the back four, but Mascherano will have a very vital role sitting in front of that back four, and but again they can rely on that count. They can concede one goal, but they have the attack to score 3 or 4. And when Alejandro Sabella have the luxury to drop a player like Tevez, it can give you an idea about what kind of players they have in the attack.
Some luxury has. A lot of coaches will be looking at that with a lot of pleasure or rather displeasure, whatever the case might be. But before we get back to Argentina, now even as these two-time world champions pin their hopes on Lionel Messi to get their hands on a third title, they will clearly be the favourites in Group F that sees them pitched with familiar foes in Nigeria, entertaining debutants Bosnia along with the Asian powerhouse Iran. Now the Super Eagles surely know a thing or two about facing Argentina. No, we will talk about that, and will be banking on the John Obi Mikel, Victor Moses and Ahmed Musa trio, who can strike very quickly on the counter. Meanwhile, the free-flowing Bosnians could be the bogey team, with Edin Dzeko spearheading the attack that has been one of the most prolific in qualifying. Meanwhile, Stoke keeper Asmir Begovic and Roma medio Miralem Pjanic, very interesting player, also adds solidity to a side that could perhaps turn out to be one of the big surprises. Iran, under the Portuguese coach Carlos Queiroz, will be in their 4th World Cup and know the road to the next round is very tough, but will bank on their talismanic skipper Javad Nekunam to lead from the front. All right. Super Eagles versus the Argentina, Nigeria versus Argentina. Novi, this has been not really a classic encounter, but this has been often repeated. We've seen in 2006, 2010 when they met for the last time, in fact, in a big international match. Also, Messi and Mikel, the two rival skippers, they've also played at different levels. They faced each other thrice. So this is something in a match when both teams know a little bit about the other.
Yes, both teams, 2006, they were in a group of death. I mean, with Sweden, England, Nigeria and Argentina. So that can be a tight match. Also, Nigeria is going in for the first time with a local coach, Stephen Keshi. And the normal infighting factionalism associated with Nigeria, blending the foreign players with the homegrown players, that seems to have gone out, is not there. So Nigeria could offer a formidable challenge, but I think really the dark horse will be Bosnia. They could be like the Balkan War babies, Croatia of 1998, full of pride, spirit, determined to do well, could come second.
Karim, on the other hand, Argentina, we've obviously spoken about Argentina's solidity and the fact that they present such a formidable challenge, but when they are faced with people like Edin Dzeko, who's so good in the air, who's literally very difficult to outmuscle. When he jumps up, he literally gets his goal. It will be a very big test for the Argentine defense.
Absolutely. If you look at the 3 games that Argentina will play, the defense will be tested mainly against Bosnia Herzegovina because they have of their striking force. You just mentioned some great names who play at the highest level, and that's where Argentina defense will be tested. Maybe they will manage defensively against Nigeria and Iran, but against Bosnian team, they will be really tested.
Okay, break it down for us, Karim. When we go to the matches, obviously we will have a special tactical formation to show our viewers. But right now, Fernando Gago, as Novi was saying, his pinpoint accuracy diagonally crosses to Higuain on the right or Di Maria on the other side of the flank. This combination is playing against Nigeria, who have the solidity of a Mikel. How do you play it out?
The Argentina against any team, they will play the same, a 4-3-3 formation with sometimes 2 attacking midfield. There is Di Maria playing that excellent attacking role behind the 3 strikers. But let's not forget they use the width with the 2 side backs, especially Zabaleta, who can deliver good passes and good crosses and give them an extra man on the final third.
In effect, Novi, that means that very importantly, Argentine attack will not be the slow, mesmerizing build-ups which we are used to Barcelona, but rather very fast counter-attacks using the length and breadth of the pitch, much like Real Madrid. And incidentally, the Barcelona star Lionel Messi will be spearheading that.
Yes, Messi likes to play at full speed. I mean, he's always at full throttle, unlike Maradona, who's to play slow, start and suddenly explode. Angel Di Maria at the peak of his form. If Aguero's recovered from injury, this could really be the most thrilling forward line in the World Cup.
Right. How big a challenge for both of you guys, very quickly before we get into a break, how big a challenge is it for Messi? First time he came into the World Cup in 2006 as an 18-year-old, played well, okay, but watched from the sidelines as his team went out on penalties. 2010, the man to whom Messi was being compared, Diego Maradona, as the coach, ran them down to the ground. Nothing much Messi could do. This time it is a big opportunity.
Well, he have no choice. This is one of the. I'm sure he can play more World Cup, but this is a great team that he have around, especially on the attackers that are around him, and he's matured. Messi, he is the captain of the team during the qualification. He had scored 10 goals, so I'm sure he is also aware that this is the right time for him to get from that myth that Messi will perform only for Barcelona and not for Argentina.
Right. So Messi has to deliver and show that he does not only perform for Barcelona but also for Argentina. Only then can he be possibly compared to a certain Diego Armando Maradona. On that note, it's time for a short break here on the show. But when we come back, interesting thing. Novi Kapadia plays a journalist, an author, as well as a quiz master. So stay up for that. Welcome back. Now, the kind of euphoria that captures most minds before and during a FIFA World Cup is unmatched. And the 20th edition is no different as the World Cup goes home to Brazil, finally, which we call its eternal home. As we review Novi Kapadia's The Football Fanatics Essential Guide, we now realize how the enthusiasm mixed with facts make for terrific literature. Have a look.
The last time Brazil hosted a World Cup in 1950, 13 teams competed in the final rounds. India had qualified for the first time, and Uruguay pipped the hosts to the ultimate prize, giving birth to one of football's most exciting rivalries. It is instances like this that ensures the Football Fanatics Essential Guide by Novi Kapadia gives you a good account of the history of the World Cup of football.
Football has always been a passion for me, the World Cup the greatest passion, it is the greatest show on earth. So I have followed this and I've always enjoyed the history of the game. So I've read a lot about it, discussed a lot with people.
The book, like a mixed bag, touches upon all things that lead up to and form a crucial part of an event like the World Cup. Whether it be the political tensions that have plagued World Cups, or the exhilarating performances of stalwarts like a Carlos Alberto in 1970, or the brilliance of the one and only Diego Maradona in 1986.
Why Maradona's the greatest player in the world.
The author not only keeps the narration to a bare minimum, but also ensures that the statistics are simple, giving the reader a good view of the past.
Football's greatness is that it's combination, it's the team spirit, everything the coaches say, but matches are won often by individual brilliance.
For lovers of the beautiful game, Novi's effort ensures a memorable walk down the memory lane too, with events springing upon you at every page, ones that might have slipped the contours of your memory. It is not just the history that keeps one intrigued, but what makes one to flip through the pages is a preview to the 20th edition of the World Cup in Brazil. By the end of 225 pages, if you think you knew all your football, the author's 100-question quiz might just leave you stumped. With Abhimanyu Sen in New Delhi, Yash Jha.
Alright, so should we call Novi the grand old quiz master of Indian football? Well, congratulations Novi for writing such a delightful book. It will surely be a delight for all the football lovers. But what prompted you? What was behind the idea of writing a book right before the World Cup?
Well, the publishers contacted me early in January, and I mean, I'd always wanted to do something like this, but I never thought people would be interested in India. And then it became, I mean, you know, like your first love affair. I mean, it was a passion you had to get through.
Right.
And I did it in 2 months, like a disciplined player, 1 hour recollecting thoughts and material, and 2 hours writing every day. And just it was like being in love. It just flowed.
Interesting title also. Other than the fact that yes, you are the quintessential football romantic, Romy, football fanatics also need a guide. That's exactly what you're implying in this title. All right, Novi, time for you to play Quiz Master with Kareem. 3 quick questions, 5 seconds each for each answer. Go ahead.
I'll be the quiz master.
Yeah.
Kareem's been with Indian football for long. 1950 we reached the World Cup. Kareem, do you know the teams India would have played in that World Cup? Any idea? 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Out.
No
Next.
idea.
Second question. Who was Brazil's goalkeeper in the 1950 World Cup? Poor fellow was ostracized for life because he conceded 2
I was
goals.
stuck in 50. Ask me for at least 70 when I was born.
Kareem has failed the test. 2 questions he's not getting. Third
That's
question.
why I'm looking forward to read this book.
Final question. Quick. Running out of time.
Yeah. Okay. Who was Brazil's captain in the 1970 World Cup? This is easier.
Carlos Alberto.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Kareem. You finally managed
right.
not to keep a clean slate.
Exactly.
But as a reward, this is the book, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is watching the show, the Football Fanatics Essential Guide, which has been compiled by Novi Kapadia. This is your prize. You know why I'm giving this to you?
To answer the questions.
Next time, whenever you are coming in for a quiz with Novi, this is what you need to read.
Exactly.
You'll get all the answers right.
Thank
On
you.
that note, Novi, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful moment there. Camaraderie between Novi and Kareem. Kareem, enjoy the book. On that note, it's time for us to say goodbye.